Hello, happy Monday, and welcome back to another segment of Meeting of the Minds Mondays. I am your host, Intellex, and we are going to jump right into it. Happy 2025. We are in a new year, so you know what that means. We had to start it off right with a new topic, but don't worry, we're going to get into all of that. Just a couple of things that I wanted to discuss before we jump into our topic for today. If you have anything that you need assistance with when it comes to your business, your brand, connect with us. Go to intellects.com, see all the products and services that we offer, see what we can help you with. Get a free consultation. Subscribe to our email list, our YouTube channel, follow us on all social media platforms, and join our app, the Artrepreneurs Hub, under the Mighty Networks app. Search for us there or click the link on our website so we can get started. Okay? All right, enough of that. We're going to jump right into it. So, this is a new topic. I hope you all have been keeping up with all topics that we have going on right now. But what we are going to do, because it is the start of a new year, we are starting fresh with a new topic. So, our topic for today is birthing your baby, part one. Yes. So, a lot of times when we talk about children, babies, we think of actual physical little humans that need nurturing and compassion and time and nourishment and all those things. But one thing that we don't talk about is the baby that is within us. Our purpose is our baby. And so that was placed in us for quite a while, right? It's been in there since before we were pushed out of the womb, okay? Or taken out of the womb, however you came here. That was something that was innately put in us, before we had children or have children. So that is our first baby, is our purpose. And so we're going to delve into that today. For those of you who are tuning in, thank you so much for taking the time out. You could be anywhere else, but you're here with us. Shout out to you. Um, I want you all to share in the comment section, what baby do you have to birth? Or what baby have you birthed? Because that is very important. Like Intellects, this brand is a part of my purpose baby. Okay. And so being able to see it grow up and to nourish it and to be here for it, this is what you got right now, right? Still a work in progress, but that is all right because so are we all and all of our purpose babies. All right, so we're going to jump right into it. Let's get into it. All right, here we go.
There are women in this room who have been failed by other women, which makes it hard to even be in environments like this and to be vulnerable and to open up, because at the end of the day, I'm a little bit afraid that you're going to disappoint me like some of the other women who came before you. And the distrust that exists oftentimes between us as women. For me, part of the reason why Woman Evolve had to come to be is because it is a sisterhood. And I wanted to prove to you that just because another woman hurts you doesn't mean that another woman can't love you. And so when this woman, this wild woman trying to find her wilderness, gets pregnant, she's not in her wilderness, but she's fighting to give birth. She's fighting because she recognizes that there is a dragon waiting to devour everything that comes out of her. Maybe it's not a dragon for you. Maybe it's fear. Maybe it's insecurity. The idea that I may fail. The idea that the moment I release it, it may never become what I thought it could be. And so I'm having to bear another woman's curse with fear looking at me. And sometimes it's easier to never get pregnant at all than to have to get pregnant with someone else's pain and your purpose with fear watching on the outside. But when you get in birthing position and when you decide that at the end of the day, I got to crush this thing, I have to crush the head of the enemy because my mother couldn't do it and I don't want my daughter to fight it. Because my grandmother struggled with it and no one else, not another molestation, not another rape, not another abortion, not another broken heart, not another divorce. I had to go through it so that the people coming behind me don't have to go through it. I'm in birthing position. I'm trying to get ready for something to come out of me. And I know everybody's watching, and I know I'm carrying her curse, but I gotta push this thing out anyway. I gotta push this thing out until hell gets nervous. I gotta start the business. I gotta create the book. I gotta let go of this depression. I gotta learn to forgive. I'm in labor, and I'm in pain, which means the time is coming. And if I wasn't sure the time was coming, the dragon arriving was a for sure sign. Because the dragon is a sign that the earth is nervous, that what I release is going to push back darkness. The warfare, I know it took everything you had to get here. The dragon was trying to see if you would give up. The dragon was trying to see if you would log on to the live stream. But somebody said, you can delay my flight, you can cancel it. You can book up every hotel if you want to, but I'm going to push this baby out. My kids can act crazy. My friends can abandon me. I'll come by myself if I have to, because I got to push this baby out. I gotta start the business. I gotta get my heart together. I gotta push this baby out. And the dragon didn't realize that a woman doesn't just push a baby out, that there's always someone there to catch the baby, even if she has to do it with her own hands. And I hear God saying that if you push, he'll pull. Let me show you. My girl gets in the birthing position. And when she gets ready to give birth, she bears the male child who was to rule all nations with a rod of iron. And her child was caught up to God. My girl is in the birthing position. And there's a dragon in front of her. And if she's honest, and if you're honest, I want to push, but I don't know who's going to pull it up. I want to create it, but I don't know if anyone will support it. I want to forgive, but I don't want to be taken advantage of. I want to love again, but I don't want to be a fool again. I want to push, but who's going to catch what I push out? Just like God did it for the woman. I'm telling you, if you vow with me for the next 2 days to push, that God's going to pull. That he's going to catch it up to a realm where no man can infect it. That he's going to catch it up to a realm where demons and fear and insecurities can't touch it. That God's going to put it in an environment where it can flourish. He's just waiting for some women who will get in the birthing position. He's waiting for some women who don't mind pushing, who don't mind giving birth in a way that they've never seen anyone give birth again. I'm trying to talk to the labor that's taking place down on the inside of you. I hear God saying that it's time for you to push so that he can pull, so that I can show you what I really think of you. Plan the conference, build the website, and I promise you, if you push, I'm going to pull. I'm going to pull every woman who is connected to your anointing to Denver, Colorado. If you push, I'm going to pull. If you push out the book, somebody's life is going to be changed. If you push out the anointing, hell will get nervous. If you push, I'll pull. Create the music. If you push, I'll pull. Start writing the script. If you push, I'll pull. Start the nonprofit. Start the ministry. Hell will get nervous. If you push, I'll pull. Create the music. If you push, I'll pull. Start writing the script. If you push, I'll pull. Start the nonprofit. Start the ministry. If you push, I'll pull. I hear heaven saying it's not me. I can't pull it. My hands aren't strong enough. My hands aren't big enough to help you wrap your arms around what God has given you. But I'm telling you, if you push, he's going to pull it. How do I know? Because you're standing in the evidence that if a wild woman starts pushing, that a crazy, limitless, potentialist God will pull like never before. This is the wilderness of a woman who decided to push so that God could pull. And my woman in the text couldn't make it to the wilderness until she pushed. Most of us want to be in the wilderness where God has created a place for us, but we don't want to push. And we don't want to face the dragon. Because if we face the dragon may reveal how scared we really are. If I face the dragon may see me cry. If I face the dragon, I may figure out that I don't really have the skills and the technique. And so most of us never make it to the wilderness where God has created a place for us because we're afraid to push. I need you to push so that he can show you he'll pull. And when you get in relationship with God and you begin to realize that when I push, he pulls. That when I push myself outside of my comfort zone, that he pulls. That when I push myself and I forgive and I walk away from toxic relationships and addiction can't hold me. When I push and I start going to therapy to work out these issues, that God pulls. Some kind of way I got a new job I wasn't even qualified for, all because I started pushing on the other side. Did you know that your push is connected to every blessing that is attached to your life? That you can't make it to the wilderness until you push in the desert. That you cannot make it to where God has called you to be unless you're willing to push first. So that you can see that once you make it to the wilderness, that you won't be there by yourself. This culture would have us to believe that being a wild woman comes down to what we can show and how crazy we can be. And I wanted to demystify this notion that us women who have been wild the other way can be wild for God. And I came to demystify the notion that there's some kind of age limit on being a wild woman. Because there are women in their 60s in this room who believe that maybe their time is over, but I came here to tell you that as long as you're still breathing in this air, that there's still a wilderness somewhere with your name on it. And when you get desperate to find your wilderness, that God is going to begin to open up doors that no man can shut. And he's going to close doors that no man can open. All because you have made a commitment to be a wild woman. That means I'm never going to be comfortable. I'm constantly going to be pushing and trying to find that uninhabited, uncultivated area where God has designated for me to thrive. And as you go into these sessions, and as you go into this conference, it has to be more than I just want to shout and I just want to feel good. I want to find the place that God has for me, where no one else could thrive but me. I want to find the place in my heart where I don't have bitterness any longer. I want to find the place that God has designated for my dream to become a reality. I'm ready to be a wild woman. I realized that up until this point, when the woman is giving birth, that she's been brave, but she hasn't been wild. And I wanted us to really recognize the difference between surviving and picking up the pieces and standing up to life versus the vulnerability that comes with being wild. Because strength is not about how you stand up to something, but rather how you surrender to what God has for you. I feel the presence of God in this room. I feel like there's another level of surrender that we have to tap into for us to thrive in the wilderness that God has created for us. When this woman, she gives birth and she flees into the wilderness where God has prepared a place for her, she has to be willing to, one, not worry about who's looking at what she's birthed. God, give me strength. She's got to be willing to walk away from what would have been clout and ego and pride. Because remember, it got caught up. God, help me break it down. The woman gave birth to something that would rule over all the world and over all the nations. And yet, she had to be willing to be detached from it so that it could really become what it was supposed to be. And so that she could become who she was supposed to be. Which means that you're going to have to be detached away enough from your success to know that God's got it. And humble enough to know that I still got room to grow. I wondered when I was reading the text, why didn't God snatch up the woman when he snatched up the child? Why didn't he take care of her the way that he took care of the child? Because he was still taking care of her in the midst of the dragon. Which means that him taking care of her had more to do with the dragon than it even had to do with her. I snatched up her seed. I feel that for somebody. You think that you missed your window. You think that your gifts and your talents have gone out the door. But I hear God saying, I snatched up your gifts and talents so that fear and rejection and abandonment issues couldn't touch it. But I kept you in front of the dragon because I wanted the dragon to know that I could move her out of the house, but I want her to stay there anyway. So she never reproduces what she saw again. I kept her in the face of the dragon because I wanted the dragon to know that at the end of the day, this is my daughter, and no weapon formed against her would prosper. I could have saved her, but I needed to send a sign to hell that you cannot have her any longer, and I don't have to remove her. I just have to bless her with you watching. So dragon, sit back and take a seat. You had your eyes on the wrong thing. You thought it was about the child, and it was really about the woman, that wild woman, that crazy woman. She was born to be wild, and I won't move her until she finds her wilderness. Turn me up in the microphone. I need hell to hear me. Turn me up in the microphone. I need them to hear me all out in the parking lot. Turn me up in the microphone. Turn me up in the microphone. Turn me up in the microphone. I need a dragon somewhere to understand that he has not left me nor forsaken me. He is putting on his best show with this wild woman. That's a cute praise. That's a cute praise. But I need you to start praising in front of your dragon. I need you to start worshiping in front of your dragon. I need you to start praising God about your business. I need you to start thanking God about your marriage. Woman, evolve. Wild woman, unleash your hand. I want to hear the wilderness. I want to hear the wilderness making some noise. I want to hear a wild woman letting the dragon know you shot your best shot. You shot your best shot, but I didn't mess around and figured out that I was born to be wild. And because I'm born to be wild, I'm born for this. I'm made for this. The dragon tried to make me think I was going to die, but God protected me. He preserved me. He made a way out of no way. He is a miracle worker. He is the great I am. Look at me. I'm still here. I'm a wild woman. I'm a wild woman. And I had to face some dragons. And I had to find joy with a dragon staring me down. This is your coronation. This is your coronation. I thought this was going to be like a moment for me, like, oh my gosh, I'm hosting my first conference. But I hear God saying, this is your moment. This is your coronation. This is when you find out that the crown that God has for you, it doesn't look like diamonds and gold and platinum. It looks like coming out on the other side of struggle. It looks like living in the wilderness, but still thriving. No one else in my community, no one else in my field, no one else in my family has been able to do it, but I think I messed around and figured out I'm standing in the wild. No one else has been able to make it happen, but I messed around and found out that I'm standing in the wild. I'm a wild woman. But I'm not wild because I've been so good. I'm not wild because I had it all together. I'm wild because the dragon couldn't kill me. And God protected my seed. And then led me to a place where the dragon couldn't touch me. The woman got to recover in a place that would have killed anyone else. I hear God saying that it's time for you to step into your place of recovery. That it's time for you to step into your place of restoration. And that He's going to show it to you in the wilderness.
All right. What did y'all think about that? Now listen, I let it play all the way out so the message can be out. And one thing that I will say is, even though the speaker was speaking to all women, this message is still true for men as well, okay? Make sure that you start pushing, right? It's time for you to push what is inside of you out, push outside of your comfort zone, to be detached enough to let God lead, and be humble enough to know that there is room for you to still grow. All right. Whatever you got from this message, I want you all to put it in the comment section. For those who are watching the replay, drop a comment and share your thoughts on what Sarah Jakes Roberts shared with us today. All right, but thank you all for tuning in. That is all that I have for you today. Make sure to continue to be your amazing self. Keep going, keep growing. And until next time, have an awesome day and a wonderful rest of your week. Intellects here, and welcome to Intellects Artrepreneur Agency, the Indeed for Artists. If you want to be a part of the intellectual community, check us out. We have so much going on Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, and everywhere in between. And we even got our own app, okay? So make sure to check us out. Go to intellects.com. Go to our link tree. Look us up on social media at IntellectsAPC so that we can best serve you. All right, we thank you so much for being a part of our vision. You know, we appreciate you, and we wouldn't be here without all of our amazing subscribers and supporters. Don't forget to sign up for the talent show every month, and someone always leaves with a prize. And don't forget to take advantage of all of our special offers, our events, our merch, our resources, our referrals, because we are here to serve you, okay? And thank you for the love. Until next time.